What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Christian Hanna Horror here today with a top 5. Today we're going to do top 5 John Carpenter movies. This was really hard. This is not an easy video to do because, John did some really good films. We're going to start out with number 5, and number 5 is going to be In the Mouth of Madness. That's right, In the Mouth of Madness is a movie that caught me by surprise not too long ago. I got it on Scream Factory, obviously, and that was the first time I really watched it. Oddly enough, I bought a Laserdisc a few years back, and it was cracked, and I never just went ahead and bought another one, so I never saw it. This is one of Sam Neill's just craziest performances. It's funny, it's almost like a Stanley Kubrick film to me, because it gets weird in the storyline, and there's moments where you're like, what's going on? But it never gets off the rails to where you're like, okay, this is ridiculous. A very tense movie. It's odd that John was able to take a complex story and do a movie where usually his plots are very simple, they're very straightforward. Here's the evil, it's coming to you, or here's the evil, you're going to it. And that's usually kind of the deal he does. But with this movie, it was like you're in this evil and your world's about to evolve and change, and but it still felt like such a John Carpenter film. When it comes to the 90s, man, I gotta give it up. I think it's his best work. In the Mouth of Madness was a fabulous film, and I really can't wait to rewatch it. Coming in at number 4 is going to be Escape from New York. This is a film, I feel it was like his swan song. I think Escape from New York was like the peak of creativity for John. Not long after that, he got into the studio movies where he was, with Universal and this and that. Escape from New York is like just... it's doing so much with so little. It's evident that John didn't have all the budget in the world, and his relationship with Kurt Russell. The movies Kurt Russell did with John. Kurt obviously became a huge success, a huge star, and I really give credit to movies like Escape from New York that he did with John, among other films that we may talk about in the future of this video, that, I think his credibility was received from doing the films with John, because John always had just such a rapport with Kurt. He trusted Kurt's instincts, he trusted Kurt's timing, and Kurt trusted John. And when you got a trust like that, it shows on screen. And Escape from New York is a movie that does so much with so little. It feels like a gigantic, huge film, but it was made on more or less a shoestring budget, which is really incredible. So Escape from New York is a fantastic movie, although I wouldn't call it, it's not necessarily a horror movie. It's for every intents and purposes, it is a John Carpenter movie. So Escape from New York. Coming in at number 3 is going to be The Fog. That's right, the follow-up to his pinnacle movie, Halloween. What I love about The Fog is how just much of a campfire story it is. The Fog. It sounds like a little book you would read or something, but it's atmosphere personified. The Fog actually has just such a tension that builds up from the very beginning with the story, with the kids around the campfire. Just fabulous, and it was great to see. I wouldn't change a thing with that. I'm so glad that he did The Fog instead of Halloween 2 as a follow-up, because I feel like, he would have became a little bit more jaded from doing Halloween 2 than doing The Fog. Maybe he would have thought he could do no wrong after, getting involved with Halloween 2, and that being as big as a success it was. The Fog, I really felt like, the story's out there that, John had the guys edit it, Tommy Lee Wallace, and when they got back, they were like, this isn't good, and they went back and they reworked it. I feel like that was perfect, and I'm glad that they did that, and I think, everything went down the way it should, The Fog being his movie right after Halloween, and I think that's part of the success, is the mindset John had with The Fog. Coming in at number 2, maybe controversial, but I'm going to say it, his number 2 movie is going to be Halloween. Look, there's not a lot I need to say about Halloween, but I can tell you why it's not number 1. Well, I'll save that for when I get to number 1. But, look, with Halloween, look, here's the deal. It's magic. It's lightning in a bottle, if you will. It's not a perfect film. There's instances where you see smoke on screen with the characters. There's instances where you see, there's a lot of funny things that go on in the movie Halloween. It's not perfect by any means. But it's perfect in the sense of the flow, it's perfect in the sense of the time it was made, it's perfect in the sense of, the theme of it. It was just perfect, the fact that there was never a film called Halloween, the fact that, the mask was a Captain Kirk mask, like all these little things that just that lined up to morph this perfect puzzle piece, and it was incredible. Halloween has a legacy that can never be killed, ever, and it's a great movie, but I don't think it's his best. Obviously, my number one, without a question, this may be controversial, without question, no doubt, his number one film is The Thing. The Thing is one of the most incredible movies to this day. Much less to me, it's not only his best horror movie he's ever made, or not even his best movies made, it's one of the best horror movies ever made on this planet. The Thing is a movie that has never even remotely been replicated, duplicated. Nobody could even touch it. The Thing is such a bizarre movie. And, you know, it's a shame that, you know, it didn't make a bunch of money back in the day because, I mean, good Lord, I can imagine the people that saw this in the theater probably had their eyes wide open. This film, there's almost something new you can notice every single time you watch it. This film is so unique in its setting, in its casting. It's all male. It's out in the freezing cold. I mean, you can't get any more claustrophobic than that. Rob Bottin's work is so incredible, and this is not even necessarily the heyday of latex prosthetics. This was the early 80s. This wasn't even the late 80s where it was a culmination. It was the early 80s, and the work he did on there, Rob Bottin's work he did on there, along with Dean Cundey's fantastic cinematography, it is better than anything CGI I've ever seen. Nothing can touch it. The Thing is just an absolute masterpiece. It's one of the most horrifying movies till this day I've ever seen. So there you have it. That's my top 5 John Carpenter movies. Some may agree with that number one pick, some may not agree with it, and that's fine. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts in the comment section below on your top 5 John Carpenter movies. That was fun. John's a great director, and all his films have so much merit. There's still some I need to see, like Vampires, for instance. I saw it and I was very little, but I haven't seen it in a long time. I need to get that. Hopefully Scream Factory can put out a Blu-ray release for me on that. Thank you guys for watching this video. Please be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy these kinds of top 5s. Be sure to hit that bell so you don't miss a video that I upload in the near future, and we'll see you guys next time.